people we engaged have brought some really interesting perspectives to mental health and really opened up the spectrum of what the issues are for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people. They have talked about some quite sensitive subjects, and they've done it in a way with respect to one another, in a way now that they're all family and they all have come together as a support for one another and a united voice. And Headspace listen to what they have to say.
You start with nothing and you say, what is it? And you prepare yourself for whatever that may be. And I think what that allows is for young people to grow in themselves, but also gives you something that's really genuine and real. And it sounds really corny, but it actually is the thing that young people will respond to the most.
I think it's important to involve youth in this process because at the end of the day our messaging and what we hope to achieve is a campaign for the youth.
It's really difficult for young people to talk to people, so this is why it's important, like for mental health, to start talking, to start engaging with youth, to get us talking and getting around these kinds of issues.
For me, the most important thing was to always bring the community back into it, to reach, your brothers and sisters in the community, because that's what it's aimed for, and to make it accessible to as many people as we can who are struggling, so they can get the help that they need as well, that they might not be aware of these services or might not feel that they have support to go to them.
It brings a uniqueness to the campaign that we knew was sort of going to be there, but gee, when you look at when you reflect on the conversations that were had, and when you look at the finished product, we would never have got there on our own.
They felt like they could share specific issues for their community. And we saw a diversity in remote to quite regional and metro areas. So the issues were not too different, but depending on which community you come from, you've got different issues and different barriers to mental health services.
From the very first day that Headspace, Galimba and the Youth Reference Group got together, we knew that we were creating something very special. The Youth Reference Group burst out of the blocks, all coming from different corners of Australia, wanting to represent themselves, their stories and their communities. So when you stood back and when you looked at the walls and what everyone had been talking about over the 2 days when we were all together, initially we were kind of looking for a needle in a haystack, and the story wasn't the needle in the haystack, the story was the haystack. So our job is to now create a campaign that actually shows the diversity of Australia, the diversity of opinion, the diversity of what youth are going through out in communities. You see the diversity in issues and circumstances come to life in what we call the life mess, which is an incredible illustration brought together by the youth and Galimba. You have our campaign headline, which has got a lot going on, and that represents very much the discovery around it's not one thing, it's everything happening all at once. You've got our beautiful songline that sweeps across the bottom of the campaign posters representing pride and culture, and that is just at the heartbeat of every single person that we talk to.
Essentially what the songline does, it calms everything through the life mess, and it brings people back to where they belong, so that they have that connection and that they feel that this is a safe place to talk about their issues, and essentially for them to grow stronger. Another great aspect was the inclusion of the flags, but also the acknowledgement of country by Headspace.
The ability for young people to have a safe environment in which to yarn about the issues in their life was very, very important. And from that's where we got the Yarn Safe, Your Space, Headspace idea. I think there's been moments, there's just little moments where someone will say, like, Roderick, I think we need to have a song line. That would work really well. And everyone goes, oh, that's perfect. And if someone says something and the whole group says, that's it, that's exactly it. And then there was the moment today when you guys showed the songline in the different colours using the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flag, and the whole room just went, yes. And you just go, yeah, we got it.
Definitely learnt about the creative process, and you can, give a lot of yourself to it.
I think it's bringing a form of unified resilience and being able to share your strengths with others. And I mean, our culture can be really defined by our community strength, and that's something that I really believe we can enhance together, and why this whole project has been so amazing.